There is a particular kind of exhaustion that sleep does not fix. It is not the fatigue of the body, but of the mind. A slow erosion, a quiet depletion, the kind that builds over months, sometimes years, until one morning you wake up and feel nothing where purpose used to be. The work is still there, the responsibilities remain, the expectations have not lessened. But something within you has. You move but without conviction. You act but without clarity. You persist but without peace. This is what most people call burnout. But we know better. This is not just exhaustion from effort. It is the consequence of misdirected energy, uncontrolled thoughts, and a life lived too long in reaction instead of intention. And so each morning, before the world reaches us, we return to discipline. Not to escape our work, but to reclaim ourselves within it. 1. We begin by reclaiming ownership of the mind. Before the email, before the noise, before the demands, we sit with one question: what today truly belongs to me? Because burnout often begins where control ends. We try to manage everything: deadlines, opinions, outcomes, recognition, and in doing so, we lose hold of the only thing that was ever ours. As Epictetus reminds us, some things are in our control and others not. This is not philosophy for comfort. It is a line of survival. The behavior of others, never ours. The final result of our work, never fully ours. The past decisions that led us here, gone. But our effort, our intention, our response, still ours. So we narrow our focus, not out of weakness, but precision. And in that narrowing, the chaos begins to quiet. 2. We confront the illusion of endless obligation. Burnout whispers a dangerous lie. You must do everything. So we obey. We overextend. We overcommit. We stretch ourselves thin in pursuit of approval, security, or identity. But there is a cost. And we feel it in the dullness of our thinking, in the heaviness of our body, in the quiet resentment we try to ignore. So we challenge the assumption. As Seneca wrote, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. We are not overwhelmed because life demands too much. We are overwhelmed because we have not defined what truly matters. So each morning we ask, what is essential? And then we do something most avoid. We let the rest fall away. Not carelessly, but deliberately. Because peace requires subtraction. 3. We redefine work as practice, not identity. Burnout deepens when we confuse what we do with who we are. When success becomes self-worth, when failure becomes self-condemnation, every task becomes heavy with consequence. So we step back. We create distance between the self and the role. As Marcus Aurelius observed, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Work is not who we are. It is where we practice. Practice patience. Practice discipline. Practice clarity under pressure. The outcome matters, but it does not define us. And when we see work as training rather than judgment, something shifts. The pressure eases. The mind steadies. We begin to act, not to prove our worth but to express it. 4. We train the mind to endure without collapse. There are days when the weight does not lift. Deadlines stack, energy drops, motivation fades. This is where most people break. Not because the work is impossible, but because their resistance is low. So we prepare for these moments in advance. As Seneca cautioned, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. We imagine difficulty before it arrives and exhaust ourselves before the work even begins. Instead, we train for reality. We accept that some days will be heavy. We expect friction. And when it comes, we do not react with surprise. We endure, quietly, deliberately, without dramatizing the moment, because endurance is not loud. It is steady. 5. We discipline the narrative within. Burnout is not only physical, it is narrative. It is the story we tell ourselves. This is too much. I can't keep doing this. There is no way out. Left unchecked, these thoughts become truth. So we intervene. As Epictetus advised, do not be carried away by the impression. We examine each thought. We question it. We replace exaggeration with accuracy. This is difficult but necessary, because the mind, when undisciplined, will always choose the path of least resistance. And that path leads directly into anxiety. So we take control of the narrative, not by denying difficulty, but by refusing distortion. 6. We return again and again to the present task. Burnout thrives when everything feels urgent and everything feels connected. One task reminds us of 10 more. One problem multiplies into many. The mind spirals. So we interrupt the pattern. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, confine yourself to the present. We do not solve the entire week. We do not carry the entire workload at once. We reduce the moment to a single action. What is in front of me now? And then we do only that. Fully, deliberately, without rushing ahead, because clarity lives in the present. And when we return to it, the weight becomes manageable. 7. We anchor ourselves in purpose beyond fatigue. There will be days when we feel nothing. No motivation, no clarity, no desire to continue. This is where most people stop. But we do not rely on feeling. We rely on decision. As Marcus Aurelius declared, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. We define our standard, and we act in alignment with it. Not because it feels good, but because it is right. Because purpose is not something we wait for. It is something we choose. And in choosing it repeatedly, we rebuild what burnout tried to take from us. Strength, clarity, direction, closing, the quiet restoration of inner peace. Burnout does not disappear overnight. It fades gradually through discipline, through awareness, through the refusal to abandon ourselves in the face of pressure. Each morning, we return to the same practice, to separate control from chaos, to reduce excess, to act with clarity, to endure without complaint, to think with precision, to remain present, to move with purpose. This is not a quick fix. It is a way of living. And if we commit to it, quietly, consistently, we begin to notice something rare. The work may remain demanding. The world may remain unpredictable. But within us, there is space again. There is steadiness. There is peace, not because life became easier, but because we became stronger than what once overwhelmed us. And in that strength, we continue. Follow for more powerful mindset shifts.